This will be the first of several videos as I start to document my thoughts around credible messengering. Though I support the efforts of those involved in trying to create change or foster change in our disenfranchised and disconnected youth, the branding of credible messenger and the language that's being used just to me is fundamentally and diametrically wrong. What is a credible messenger? A credible messenger is an individual who has the ability to move within circles of people, to share information, to support growth and development, exampleless in the moment that is relevant to the individuals in need. There's no ancient faith component. There is no restorative component. Yes, I said it. There is no restorative piece to credible messengering. You can't restore justice to a community that has always been treated unjustly. There's an opportunity with the credible messengers to create a new way of thinking that will develop justice for the community as people change and move forward to continue to grow their community. I'm not a credible messenger. No, you keep that title. I'm not a facilitator of change. Though, working with people, my objective is to facilitate change. I am an urban mentor. Informal practices, as they put it, as they define it, because there's no evidence that can support the type of work that is done by so many brothers like myself and sisters who are the gatekeepers of their community, who continuously give back and use and draw from their experiences, old and new, to help the youngins, as I like to call them, create an identity that doesn't harm but only enhances themselves and ultimately their communities. There is some connection to the academic language to urban mentoring. You know, we as people of color, those of us who have found our way and made decisions to change our lives, and now example that for our young folks, we connect to harm reduction therapy. I particularly care to use choice theory or reality therapy because, as the young folks would say, only really right folks can give real right information. When a young person is committing an act that is violent or unjust against the community, we have to validate that for that young person, that act, that thought process, that beginning stage of his aggression was right. Yes, validate it. Because they need to know that thinking process for that moment, because they didn't believe they had more choices or different choices, they went that route. But then there's an opportunity to grow, to challenge that thinking, to say to them, yeah, it was right that you did it, but the outcomes weren't what you expected. What's different? How do we think differently to get the outcomes we need to be prosperous, yet unthreatening to those around us as they pursue their own prosperity, as they try to find their own purpose parallel to what the individual, the young person, is doing. There's a gift in urban mentoring. The mentor will see through some of the defense mechanisms that the young folks choose to use to manage and maintain power. Yes, I said power. Young folks will continuously fight power that has been opposed, that has been, how you say, imposed on them for so many years, for such a long time in their young lives, whether in the academic world, whether in their communities by the policing, whether the old school rearing coming from their parents or grandparents or caregivers would work for them, what helped us to survive as caregivers is the tools we choose to pass on to our young to help them survive these mean streets and the conditions that we find ourselves historically involved, entrenched in. We need to think differently. We need to do differently. We need to understand that today's culture is not the culture that we come from, but embrace what these young people do and use what is relevant to them to help foster the change necessary for success. Yes, you can have a history lesson about it. Yes, it is fair to say they need to understand the plight of those before them. But the immediate goal of the urban mentor is to get the young person to believe that success is theirs, to that what we consider the untapped gift that they possess is ready to be released, and we will nurture that as urban mentors. I'm gonna take it to what one of my colleagues, my brothers, my friends, my allies, my comrade, urban gardening, and become urban farmers of social change. There will be more discussion. I will continue to talk about this. I would love open dialogue to challenge thoughts, redefine what credible messengering is. Because right now, what I'm seeing out there for those who want to market and sell what is so natural to most of us who are thriving in our communities that struggle, and not thriving financially, but thriving in a way to say that we are holding the gates, we're the gatekeepers holding the line to help make sure that our communities never die out, that our history never dies, and that our young folks have a point of reference when they're ready to change.